Good work, everyone. Let's get started on Module 3, starting now. What I mean is the module is called Starting Now. That was weird. The information I'm going to give to you was acquired through my experiences as I was trying to lose weight. When I began my weight loss journey, it was hard for me not to try and start ahead of where I really was. I made plans pretending to be a lot more self-disciplined than I really was at the time. So each time I failed to stick with my plans to be perfect, I became increasingly frustrated. I hadn't yet developed all the healthy habits that I pretended I had, but through my experiences, I'm prepared to help you avoid making the same mistakes. We're going to get started where you are right now by doing things to feel good now. And what I mean by that is get dressed in clothes you feel presentable in. Don't wear your pajama pants all day. Or maybe in the morning you can do a 5-minute face and spend 5 minutes doing your makeup. If you're like me, you have white blonde eyelashes, and if my go-to is mascara. If I just put mascara on, I feel that much better about myself. Or I highly recommend Googling your body type and then Google ways to dress for that body type so you can look and feel flattering and attractive. But the reason I want you to do that, I don't know about you, but for me, I am much more likely to make the best decisions when I feel better about myself. When I have a high self-esteem, I am in a better state to make the decisions I want to make and be what I want to be and to do what I want to do. So we're going to start right now by preparing ourselves to be in a better state to move forward. I also would like you to pause the video, and I have a YouTube link to a video by Tony Robbins called Changing Your Story in the course content for Module 3. I'd like you to click the link and watch the video. No one says it better than Tony Robbins, but what he talks about is how we have to get rid of our old mentalities and our old definition of ourselves and our old excuses and all these things, and get rid of all that old negativity to make way for progress. Pause the video, go watch it. I'll see you when you get back. Okay, welcome back. Now we're going to start talking about moving ahead. The first thing I want you to do is go take a before picture. It's something I totally forgot to do, and there were many times in my weight loss journey that I wish I had had that. I didn't think to do that, but there are times when I felt excited about the progress I'd made, and I wish I had that before picture to compare myself and see the progress I'd made, because I was excited. And there were other times where I felt like I wasn't making any progress and I wanted to give up, but I wish in those moments, I wish I would have had my picture so I could have seen that I was making progress, and it would help me feel better, and it would have been easier for me to keep moving forward if I would have had that reference point. So I challenge you, as soon as we're done this module, take a before picture. I scrounged some up. I'll skip to the end of the slide here. But I went and tried to scrounge some up to share with you, even though they're awful. I'm a little embarrassed. This first one, that little one, is a video. That's why it looks awful, but I zoomed in on me in the video soon after, a couple months after having my baby. And this other one, this is my lovely little family. Not great before pictures, but it's the best I could scrounge up for you. But you can see I have made progress and made changes from that point. But the next thing we're going to talk about is get rid of the start again on Monday or when it's better mentalities. What I mean by the start again on Monday mentality is, well, it's something I used to do a lot. If I had my great plan to be so much more healthy this week, and then I'll mess up midweek or even early in the week, who knows, then I would just throw my hands up and say, oh, I blew it for this week, I'll start again on Monday. Or I would have this plan to be healthy today, and then I'd mess up by lunchtime, throw up my hands, and decide I'd start again tomorrow. We need to get rid of that mentality. I think I'm partly this way because I have a whole bunch of like totally embarrassing OCD tendencies, but this is kind of one of them, is that we start on Monday. But I had to get rid of it. And what helped me get rid of it is I heard a poem called Forever is Composed of Nows. It's an old poem by Emily Dickinson. It just really hit me in that if I keep waiting to start again on Monday, I'm losing a whole bunch of nows, and I will have a whole bunch of wasted time in between now and then. So we need to get mentally prepared for when we make mistakes, because we will. We're going to try not to, but you will not be perfect, and there will be times where you deviate from your plan. So I want you to get rid of the start again on Monday mentality and be prepared to start again as soon as you recognize you've made the mistake, and move forward right from that point. Let's use our nows better than we do. Now, the when it's better mentality. I'll think of a quick example. A lot of people don't want to go to the gym or to the fitness center until they lose a couple extra pounds first, or maybe until they learn what they're doing first so they won't be embarrassed when they go. But how are you going to learn what you're doing without going? There's no better time to start than right now. So don't wait until you feel like you look a little bit better, or until you feel like you know what you're doing. Don't wait until it's better. Don't wait until you have more energy, or don't wait until you just magically have more time, because those things don't really magically happen. We kind of have to make those things happen. So even if you feel like you don't have time, there's probably something you can get rid of, or maybe you can go to bed 10 minutes earlier and get up 10 minutes earlier to give yourself an extra even 10 minutes a day to be active. And then you can start from there and move forward. But don't wait till it's better to start. Make it better by starting. So let's get rid of those mentalities and let's move forward. So let's talk about your assignment. Your assignment is to plan to create your caloric deficit. The first thing I want you to do is get a little bit self-aware and answer those first few questions. What habits do you need to change? What is your kryptonite? I want you to think about your biggest roadblock right now. For me, after I think every baby, I would eat too much junk food in the evenings after I put my kids to bed. Raising a household of young kids is totally overwhelming and exhausting. And by the end of the day, I developed a habit of turning to junk food, because junk food and food, but especially junk food and sugar and things that are addictive, but they release those feel-good hormones in your body immediately. And there's other ways to do it that are much healthier, but that's the habit I got into. As soon as the kids were in bed, when I was totally done, we'd do an ice cream run, or I'd have some hot chocolate, or whatever it is I felt like that day. So that was kind of my biggest roadblock. That's what I had to eliminate first. I want you to turn on your self-aware switch and think about what your biggest roadblock is and write it down. Next, I want you to start a plan to create your caloric deficit. So what are you going to start with, and what are you going to work towards? I highly recommend you start with the kryptonite you just wrote down. And I want you to think of your end goal, who you want to be as far as your nutrition plan goes. Maybe your end goal, while you're trying to lose weight, can be to consume 500 calories a day less than your TDEE that you calculated before. So, for example, I would start by eliminating my junk food consumptions in the evenings, and then I could work towards my 500 calories less than my TDEE a day. So I calculated my daily energy expenditure with those tools, and it said I burn about 2,300 a day. I'm quite active, but so if I wanted to do 500 calories a day less, I would be shooting for 1,800 calories. So maybe my end goal is to stick to 600 calories, 600 calories, 600 calories for 3 meals. That'll get me my 1,800. So think about what some steps you need to take in between those two outcomes are. So I would start by eliminating my junk food tendencies in the evenings. And then maybe my next goal could be to fix up my breakfasts. And instead of having toast and cereal in the mornings, I could have my fruit smoothie. And that could be my next obstacle to tackle. Maybe after that, you decide your next obstacle to tackle is to drink more water in the day. Great. What's the next step after that? And then keep going to get to your endpoint that you want to get to. Now we're going to start our plan, and in a couple modules down the road, we are going to put some tools in our tool belt and get some methods and some strategies in order to get from one step to the other. So go ahead, make your plan, what steps you want to take. Start with where you are and decide on where you want to be, and then what the steps are you're going to take in between. We're mapping out the steps because it was easiest for me to do one step at a time and to take time to beat each one thing at a time. Maybe a week or so could be, sometimes it takes longer, but we want to tackle one thing at a time. Jillian Michaels in one of her YouTube videos said it takes about a month to break a strong habit or to break an addiction. So it might take a couple weeks, but we're going to do one thing at a time and get you where you need to be. Good luck. You can do it. I'll see you when you're done in Module 4.